Good afternoon, tutora. The purpose of my project is to transform the way vocabulary is learned in virtual English classes, moving students from passive listening to active participation with confidence and fluency. Science learning through a screen requires constant stimuli. I designed this strategy to overcome that digital barrier and help students retain vocabulary and their long-term memory while avoiding short answer. To achieve this, I created um, use a pros bank on Palette to expand their ideas through lexical crunch. Second, interstellar travel agency and immersive role play that promotes extended oral production using AI visuals from Bing and Misu. Third, the shape of the shadow, which the strengthens listening comprehension by sketching audio fragments of on Canva for music at your own pace. Using tones, song close stats to improve pronunciation and rotation in a low pressure environment. And finally, the memory rotary, where the students created humorous memes on Mentimeter to master pragmatic competence and informal language. The one question is, what was the most valuable experience from your teaching practice? I consider that it was learning how to effectively detect problems and difficulties within the virtual learning environment. Identifying these issues is crucial for any educators because challenges will always arise during the teaching process, and we must be prepared to address them. A major turning point for me was working on Milton case. Initially, I found it challenging to design and complete pedagogical research proposal, but as progressed, I gained confidence. I successfully formulated the entire from my work, including the statement. State of the art hypothesis, data collection instruments, and expected findings. Even though it was a simulated proposal rather than a physical implementation, this experience was deeply important as a future teacher is taught me how to scientifically analyze classroom problem and structure and formal action plan to guide my future students. To us where is, how did your view of language acquisition evolve during the course? I believe my perspective evolved progressively through each process as I discovered the immense value of active listening and vocabulary immersion in the learning process. I came moment that transformed my view was perceived participation in a web conference that was conducted entirely in English. In Italy, it was a significant challenge for me because I had experienced a fully immersive environment like that before. However, as I confused and listened closely, I realized I could understand the ideas this experience completely changed my view of language acquisition. It was me realized that acquisition and language continuous adaptive process and that having constant exposure and through listening is the real key breaking barriers and develop it through communicate confidence. The three answer is which activity from the Agora poster inspired you most and why? The activity that inspired me the most was Andres Felipe presentation, which focused on active citizenship and language production in CLIL. Trush flipped classroom the thing. What caught my attention the most about his project was um, how seamlessly he structured the flipped classrooms cycle He's at home. Strategy incorporates short introductory videos, Bamboo and ChatGPT prompts so a student can independently understand and practice expression before the synchronous lesson. During the virtual class, what I highlight the most was his good time management, specifically in this activity called the Great Election Role Play. He successfully allocated specific time frames, like 10 minutes, from an icebreaker and 13 minutes for the main role play providing how effective structuring keeps virtual class engaging. Furthermore, his CLIL approach of combining language learning with civic education, along with a clear classroom. Rules that celebrate mistakes to lower student anxiety taught me how a well-structured autonomous process maximizes interaction and community in virtual environment. And the fourth question is, what do you take away from the Agora event as a future teacher? Okay. First of all, I consider that this event is a hugely significant space for our academy community because it allows you to witness the immense creativity and innovation that our peers bring to the table as future educators. We know that teaching is not just about delivering content, it is about finding dynamic ways to spark curiosity, seeing how my classmates design their activities to encourage meaningful interaction showed me that creativity is essential to keep modern students motivated and truly and fully engaged in their own learning process. Additionally, from a personal and linguistic perspective, the Agora event provided a valuable opportunity for peer learner and self improvement by actively listening to classmates, especially those who process a more advanced command of the language. I was able to expand like vocabulary, learn new expression, and pay close attention to their pronunciation. This experience proved to me that we can always learn from each other, and that being exposed to hither linguistic levels inspires us to challenges ourselves and elevated our own propensity. Ultimate, my biggest takeaways is that these academic gatherings not only provide us with fresh pedagogical insights, but also prepare us to become more resourceful and collaborative and reflective teacher. Thank you for your attention.